of building a scalable virtual CFO practice. And without wasting much time, I request CA Rakesh Vagasia to formally introduce him.
Hello everyone. Shreyans Dedhia is a chartered accountant. He passed 2 levels of CFA and is also registered valuer with IBBI. He is a partner at Billy Moria Mehta and Company. Previously, he worked with EY for 3 years in business consulting role. He specializes in virtual CFO services, due diligence and valuation services. He provides service to corporate startups and MSMEs across India and across different sectors. He also extensively works with VC funds, assisting them with the financial due diligence as a part of their investment process. He also helps corporates in due diligence assignments in mergers and acquisitions. As a registered valuer, he has undertaken numerous valuation assignments under the Companies Act, FEMA and SEBI regulations, including valuations of shares for share transfer or private placement, valuation of intangible asset, determination of swap ratios in mergers, etc. With this, I request CA Jawad Vasa to present the memento to Shreyans Dedhia. Also, I request CA Bijal Doshi to present the benevolent fund receipt to Shreyans Dedhia. With this, Shreyans Dedhia start the stations.
Ready? All right. All right. Good evening, members. Good evening, the committee members on the dais and present over here. So I hope everyone is recharged after the short break. So today's seminar is on virtual CFO services, which we will cover in 3 parts. So first part is on whom do we target? So who are the appropriate clients to whom we can provide this virtual CFO services? Second part is what type of services we can cover under this umbrella. And third part is how we can kickstart this service line as a firm. So I would like to get inputs from all of you. So according to you, whom do we target? Whom do we provide this virtual CFO services? Anyone can provide the inputs? MSME is correct. And anyone else? MSMEs and startups. All right. But then do you think all MSMEs and startups we can provide these services, or selected MSMEs and startups? Anyone? So I'll explain. So we'll break this into 2 questions. So first, why MSMEs and startups? So typically under MSMEs and startups, you will have an accountant managing the accounts and finance, and then you will have that accountant interacting with the CA for tax and compliances. But you will not have anyone leading the accounts and finance function, providing strategic inputs to the management, to the promoters, adding value to the management and the founders. So that is why our role comes into picture, where we can add a layer between the accountant and the management and add value. But then all MSMEs and all startups, so absolutely no. So we'll have to filter our clients. So you will have always 20% clients providing 80% revenue. And those are the clients which are actually growing clients, motivated for change. So you should target only those companies. If you provide services to virtual CFO services to other clients, they might not feel value to your services. So that is why the thumb rule is 80-20, target only 20% clients who are actually motivated for change and actually growing. They will value your services more than the other clients. Now, The second portion of the second part of the seminar is what type of services we can cover under Virtual CFO. So anyone, quick responses? So typically as a firm, we break these services into 4 umbrellas. So you have pillar 1, management reporting, then you have pillar 2, compliance management, you have pillar 3, structuring, and then process improvement. So we'll quickly run through these 4 pillars and explain how we can provide these services to our clients. So very first pillar, which is management dashboard. So I also request my colleague Shraddha to present this. So I'll take one example over here. Hello. So I'll take this one example where for management reporting, we have one client into coaching classes, all right? And they have multiple branches, they have multiple service lines. So they have science stream, commerce stream, they have, you have CBSE, SSC, and then they have multiple branches over here. But then management wants a detailed view. How do we get to know which branch is providing what type of revenue from different streams, or which stream is functioning very good in which branches? So it is a very dynamic and very complex view that the management wants. So over here, your typical Excel and PPT will fail. They will provide static view. They will not give you a very dynamic view. So this is what we have developed for them, where you have all the streams, and then you have all the branches over here, and then you have all the expense heads over here. And this is a very dynamic dashboard built on a Google product called Data Studio. All right, so if you click on science stream, all right, so the entire dashboard will change for science stream. So you will exactly come to know for science stream which branches are providing what type of revenue, what are the expense heads for science stream. All right. Then, for example, if you again reset, so you have an option to reset. Then, for example, if you click on rent expense, all right, at the bottom. So now you have rent expenses. What are the rent expenses incurred in different branches? So it is very, very dynamic, very, management can get a lot of insights from this type of dashboards. But then how do we build these dashboards? So that is the second question. All right, so what typically we do is we sit with the management, we understand what type of view they want, what type of charts, tables they need. So once we get that inputs from the management, then we think and design what type of reports the database needs to be developed, and then what type of accounting system needs to be configured to deliver that reports, and thus you will have the management dashboard ready. All right. So I'll just quickly show how do we build this type of dashboard very quickly. All right. So so you type Data Studio, which is a Google product. Earlier it was called as Looker Studio, taken over by Google. Then you click on Create a Report. Then you, so this dashboards can be linked with Google Sheets. So it is very easy. Everyone is using Google Sheets. Everyone is aware how Google Sheets work. So you have Google Sheets over here. And then we have a sample database that we have created for this seminar. So we are adding that data sheets over here. So now this is your dashboard. This is your plain dashboard. Now you have a freehand how you want to build different charts on this dashboard. So like in Excel, we add tables, we add charts, we add pivot tables. Same thing we can do over here, where we can add tables over here, we can add dimensions. So in our Google Sheet, we had different columns for streams, for branches. So same thing we have configured over here. And so we have streams over here, then for each stream, we can add different parameters over here. So it is very easy, very convenient. very easy to implement, all right? But again, you can move back to the slide. All right. So typically, the process flow should be, you will have the raw data which is in Tally or Zoho. Okay. You configure your database, your accounting system in such a way that accounting system gives you a report which can be uploaded on Google Sheet. You don't need to make a lot of changes in that. So you need to configure your accounting system in such a way. You can also take help of ERP vendors like Zoho vendor, your Tally partners to configure your accounting systems. Then you have download these reports, paste it on Google Sheet, and Google Sheet is linked with Data Studio. It will auto update. So this is a real-time dashboard. This can be also shared as a web link to the promoters. Promoters need not log into any software. They can just type their portal link, Data Studio, and coaching classes name. The dashboard will appear. So it is very, very dynamic. They can access this dashboard from anywhere. All right. Next pillar is, so in case if anyone has any questions, you can ask me over here before we move to next the next pillar. Yes. So typically, in our experience, so we have clients across India. We have clients from Gurgaon, Hyderabad, Pune, Bangalore. Most of the clients which are tech-savvy clients, they are very, very comfortable meeting on Google Meet or Zoom. So they don't have any issues. There are few clients, they require visits. So maybe initially when we start the engagement, we visit over there, we set up the process. But then we always say that if you want to continue the engagement, you will have someone from your accounting team who should be our Spock. It is very difficult to interact with the promoters or management on a daily basis. So we always request them to identify one point of person for us from your internal team, and then we interact with them. So it becomes very easy to coordinate with the team members, and then on a monthly basis, we present our report to the management. So with this structure, it is very easy to work from anywhere across the world, in fact. Any other questions? So then we move to second pillar, which is compliance web. So over here, again, we have one more client. The client is a fintech company. They are a wonderful bunch of engineers. They have developed a wonderful software product for loan agents, okay? And recently they are undergoing a funding round of 30 crores at a valuation of 1,000 crores. So for them, though they are a startup, all the things are applicable to them. So they will do private placement. So company secretary role is there. You will have FEMA role. You will have labor compliance role. You will have trademark, IPR. You will have agreements, therefore legal. You will have all the roles applicable to them. But then the problem is they are not interested to coordinate with so many agencies. So they want a single point of contact, single firm, single go-to person who can manage everything for them. So that is where our role comes into the picture, where you developed tie-ups with multiple agencies. Okay, so you have a tie-up with a lawyer firm, you have tie-up with FEMA consultant, a company secretary, labor compliance, and you take the charge. For the clients, it is only one person, that is you. But then at this back end, you would be coordinating with different teams. You need not specialize into these services. You just need to have a basic knowledge of all these services to explain the client. All right. So over here, if you see, the strategy is transition from direct execution to orchestration. Orchestration means you host, like you coordinate with all these agencies, and then you become the point of contact for the client. Right? But then how do you do this? So you will have in-house special teams, and you have external associates. But then with so many clients, so many agencies, how do you coordinate whether all the things are happening on time or not? So that is another question. Right? So for that, what we do is we have a internal portal which we use for tracking purpose. All right. So we come to compliance and clients. So we have compliances over here. So all the compliances that are applicable in a year, we map it over here. So you will have all the compliances over here. Then we have, and for each compliances, we have due date, we have trigger date, we have checklist, maintain everything in the portal. Then we have clients where all the clients with which we work, we have onboarded all the clients over here. And then whatever compliances are applicable to that client, we map it. So for this client, this many compliances are applicable, which will include the compliances handled by the other agencies, which can be company secretary, labor compliance officer. We also map over here. So now this portal is used by three parties. You will have client also using this portal. So we share the access to the client as well. We have a separate login for client. Client will log in into our system. They will see what all compliances are applicable to them, what are the due dates, and then what is the status of this task. You will also have the other agencies like company secretary, labor compliance officer. We also have onboarded them on the same portal. So they can see what all tasks they have to complete. They also update over here. And then we have internal team. Internal team also update all their, for example, we have internal team for GST, income tax. So they will update their status over here. And then we have dashboard over here. So whatever the overdue task, whatever the upcoming deadlines, all maintained in the same single dashboard. So it becomes very easy for the client. They have complete visibility that nothing is missing out. I am aware about all the compliances that is being done, different agencies working for the client. And then sometimes there are also ad hoc activities. You have which are not routine, which are not, there is no fixed frequency. So then all those activities we add in to-do portal, so to-do module. So these are all the one-time activities that the client has requested. For example, they want to apply for Udyam, they want to apply for trademark, whatever are the activities we add over here on the to-do module. And then if the task is pertaining to say labor officer, labor compliance firm, we tag them. So on their portal, they can also see what all task is added for them. So it becomes very easy for tracking of task. All right. So the main objective over here is, again, can you come to the slide? So main objective is, if you have acquired one client, try to provide all the services that the client wants under single umbrella. So that becomes very easy. Client mining, that is, we called it as client mining. So client mining is very, very easy, but client acquisition, acquiring new clients becomes easy, difficult. So whatever clients you have acquired, to whom you are serving, try to see what all other services you can cross-sell, and try to make tie-ups with different vendors so that you can provide different services to the client. So the client mining is the key. That is what we are focusing over here. Any questions over here? Accounting is a thankless job, to be honest. So whatever you do, how much better accounting you do, client will never appreciate. So normally we request, if there's very small clients provide like into services, very small volume of transactions, only then we take up accounting work. Otherwise we request client to hire in-house accountant. So when you have in-house accountant, they can coordinate with the clients on a daily basis. They can do documentation for the clients. They can also help them with their banking part. They can also act as a licensing officer for us, because it becomes difficult for us to coordinate if there is no internal person with whom we can coordinate. So we always request clients to hire in-house accountant, commerce graduate. You need not hire any high-level person, but at least one commerce graduate who knows data entry. Then we review the work. We review the accounting. We set the process for them. We set the checklist for them, how the accounting is to be done. So that all we take the care. But then data entry, we request client to have an internal person for that. Any other questions? All of you are with me until now? All right, so now, no, it depends. So what type of services you are, so for example in MIS, okay, the management dashboard. So management dashboard is so easy to implement, and that can be rolled out for all the clients that you are serving, okay. So effort will go only one time in designing dashboard, one time implementing, one time designing the accounting system, how it is to be configured. But once the initial work is done, then the monthly we just need to download report, upload. So internally, your efforts will be optimized. You don't need to put efforts month on month, the same efforts. But however, initially you'll have to put a lot of efforts for initial setup. So, but however, for the client, we always agree at a monthly retainer fees. We don't charge that initially this much will be our fees and monthly this much will be the fees. And client also appreciates because they get value which other CAs are not able to provide. They get value which the internal accounting team is not able to provide. So these type of dynamic dashboards, they value a lot. Typically the fee can, so we have clients to whom we are billing 10,000 also, we have clients to whom we are billing 1 lakh also per month. The fee range will differ based upon the client appetite to pay and the value that you are adding and also the efforts that you are putting. But you can have, management dashboard is MIS work, correct? Any other questions? And for compliance web, so though we have tie-ups with multiple agencies, but then all the billing happens through us. So we bill to the client and then we share our fees with other agencies like company secretary, labor compliance. So your billing increases a lot because earlier you were providing only taxation or audit work. Now you are providing all type of services. And also for the client, they will appreciate because they don't need to coordinate with so many agencies. It becomes easy for them to have a one-stop shop. So different clients have different structure. So we'll have to understand the scope that is there. So usually you should have a team of juniors. We also have onboarded CAs who are client representative. And then on a monthly basis, we visit the client either remotely or physically. So in terms of time allotment, so it varies client to client. But as a practice, maybe to make it scalable, you will have to always ensure that your efforts are minimized. Whatever work you are doing, you should form a team which are able to handle the work. Otherwise, if you put the efforts on your personal capacity, you will not be able to build a scalable practice. So you should take the work, ensure that you have a competent team who can handle the work. You hire CAs who handle this type of work so that your time is optimized. Normally, the minimum expectation that we have seen is monthly meetings. So typically what we do is we set the agenda with the client, either monthly goals or quarterly goals, what all we will deliver to the clients. And then based upon the plan on a monthly basis, we prepare a report and present the report to the management that this is our planned activity, this all we have achieved in this month. And so on a monthly basis, we spend around 2-3 hours at my level with each client. So monthly meetings are a must, otherwise the things will not move. Any other questions? All right, so coming to the third web, which is structuring. So I'll just give you one example over here, the recent case study that we had. So we had one client into premium catering. All right, so over here, the 3 main activities are benchmarking, budgeting, forecasting. That is one activity. Second activity is cash flow optimization and financial decisions. And third activity is valuation. So where we help client discover the value for their entity. So coming to the first, you will have benchmarking. Next slide. So you'll have benchmarking over here. So for benchmarking, I'll just share the recent example that we had. So we had one client into premium catering. The revenue was around 15 crores and they wanted to raise funding. They already had an investor identified, but then they didn't know what is the valuation that they should ask from the investor, where to deploy amount, how to prepare the projections for the investors to share. So all this client was clueless. They just knew that they wanted to grow. Okay. So what we did is we asked clients, we asked that premium catering client, what type of clients, what type of other companies are your comparable peers, are your competitors. Okay. If any of them are listed, better. If any one of them have filed for IPO, we'll have DRHP. So we ask this data so that we can do benchmarking with the market data. So client mentioned, so there is one company called Foodlink. So Foodlink is again into premium catering and they have recently filed DRHP. So now we got a comparable company, okay? So now what we did is we studied the DRHP for that company called Foodlink. And we understood that Foodlink is doing revenue of around 350, 400 crores. And they have filed IPO papers for a valuation of around 1600 to 2000 crores. So we realized that Foodlink is able to get around 5 times revenue multiple. Okay, so we got that data. Then we understood how is Foodlink growing. So we understood that Foodlink has grown 50% year on year in last 3 years. And then what is the average revenue that they are doing? So we understood that per event, they are doing revenue of around 25-30 lakhs, average per event. Where all they are located. So we identified the different cities where Foodlink has central kitchen. So all these data we identified, we studied from the DRHP of Foodlink. Similarly, wherever you want to provide services, you can ask comparable companies for the same sector. You can study their investment presentation, we also use attraction software a lot where we get comparable data. You can see their annual reports. So this data you can use for benchmarking. Typical thing that you can do is the revenue that they are earning, the revenue growth that they had, the return on capital employed, working capital ratios. So all this data you can study, you can do benchmarking for your client. So in this case, for our client, which was into premium catering, they had a 15 crores revenue. So we told them, since the market is giving 5 to 6 times revenue multiple, you can easily have your valuation at 90 crores. And they onboarded the investors at 90 crore valuation. So even for investors, when they talk to investors, they can give a comparable data that these are the other companies doing revenue and they are earning 5 times multiple. So even investor got convinced, okay, all right, so this is the market trend. So that is why investors agreed to this valuation. So this is the value addition that you can do for your clients. Then we told our client, if you are into premium catering, so how you can grow. So we advise them, you can open your cloud, your central kitchen in these areas, because even Foodlink has presence in these areas. So now client is able to think and create a plan. Okay, so now next 3 years, I can open my central kitchen in these 3 cities. And for opening these 3 central kitchen in these 3 cities, I will need this much capital. So now client is also started thinking. So client can prepare the plan for next 3 years. So based upon that data, in Excel, we prepared the revenue projections, the cost projections, the capital that would be required to fulfill that revenue and cost, and the 3-year plan was ready, which was shared with the investors, discussed with the investors, agreed with the investors, and the work started. So that is the benchmarking against the market, which can help your clients in structuring and create a roadmap for their journey for 3 years. Then you can also have a lot of cash flow decision that you can help clients into. So always whenever there are financial decisions which involves cash flow, so this like the client wants to purchase an asset. So there are 2 options, either you purchase asset or you take it on lease. So both will have a different impact on cash flows, and you can prepare the projections and help your clients how to deploy your capital. Then if the client wants to open new stores, so you can advise your client how to open new stores, either on franchise model or your own stores. If the client wants to raise funds, equity funding, debt funding. If the clients want to start manufacturing activity, you have two options, either in-house manufacturing or job work. If the client wants to enhance revenue, again two options, either enhance credit period or cash discounts. So all these decisions will impact your cash flow drastically, and being a financial consultant, you can advise your clients in all these areas. So this will tremendously add value to your client, and they will really, really appreciate. So any questions in structuring, anything that you wanted to ask? So we use Traction software a lot. So Traction, it has data of all the corporates, body corporates, LLP, private limited, public limited. So whatever benchmarking you can do, all the data is available on the Traction software. It is very, very convenient software. If the company has raised funding, even that data will be available on Traction software. Whatever investors have participated in the funding round. So all this data is readily available. And it is just, you can leverage this data and add value to the client. No. So we have I don't think there is a subscription model. It is outright for one. So we don't have a per usage fees. It is a subscription model where you pay for 1 year and you get the access for 1 year. You can call us definitely. An issue. Right. Now the fourth pillar. Again, so in fourth pillar we have process improvement. So again, we would be helping the clients to optimize the processes. I think everyone would be helping clients in helping the processes. However, this is just an additional effort to properly organize this as a service line and add value, bill it. Okay. So typically for each client, we break the processes into different parts. So we have order to cash as one process which covers all your activities from customer onboarding, CRM, your sales invoice raise, collection, discount policy, agreements, everything mapped under one bucket, order to cash. Then you have procure to pay, that is the second bucket where you have the processes mapped from purchase acquisition to PO to goods receipt to invoice generation, invoice received to payment. So all these activities, we map it under one bucket, procure to pay. Then treasury management, all your investments, borrowings, working capital management, everything under treasury. Then payroll, all your employee journeys mapped under payroll. And then you have financial statement closure, all your monthly activities, quarterly activities, year-end closure mapped under FSCP, which is financial statement closure process. So for each client, what we do is we prepare a plan. So maybe in 1 quarter, we take up one process. Okay, we don't take all the process all together. We go very slow. So in 1 quarter, we focus only on one process. And for that process, we understand what are the activities which the client is doing presently. And then we understand where all we can improve, where all the processes can be improved. So improvement can be done through two things. Either there can be system or tech intervention, or it can be a policy-driven change. So we have 2 buckets. For each process, we have 2 buckets, system intervention and policy intervention. And since all of us are interacting with so many clients, we can see the best practices followed by each client. We can prepare a comprehensive process book where whatever are the best practices followed by each client, we document that. So for us, it becomes a Bible where we have jotted down all the best practices followed by each client. And then we visit each client and see what are the improvement scope for our clients. Okay. And then we just pick and implement over there, deploy over there. So for one of our client into again premium catering, So what we did is, once they did a fundraising, now they wanted to streamline their processes. Okay. So for that, what we did was, we started implementing the changes process level. So for order to receipt, so the invoice generation activity was earlier happening manually. We got it changed to tally-driven invoices. So all the invoices now being generated by the system. And they are doing multiple events. So for each event, they have multiple clients. And so usually they don't have a track collection kahan se pending hai. So what we did was, from the system you have a automated payment reminders. अगर system में collection amount pending है, system से ही every week there is a payment reminder sent to the customers from Tally system. So we took help of a Tally vendor and we configured the system. So that collection process got automated. So client is very happy. अरे अब मुझे लोगों को कॉल करने की जरूरत नहीं है, वहाँ से ही लोग सिस्टम से ही सीधा व्हाट्सएप में जा रहा है और ईमेल पे भी जा रहा है. So the collection cycle reduced a lot. Then we also started tracking lead time. So these are all common improvement opportunities that you can also implement in your clients. So these are very generic, very what do I say? Applicable to all type of clients. So अगर आपके पास कोई client, if you are onboarding for this type of services, so at least you can start with this basic improvement opportunities, and client will be very happy. So we started tracking lead time कि अगर event खत्म हो रहा है तो invoice कितने दिन में generate हो रहा है. So we observed that there were instances where invoices was generated after 15 days, 30 days, and the customer will pay once the invoice is generated. उसके बाद the customer will have their own credit period. So whatever time you have wasted in generating invoices, that is the time gone. That is because of your mistake, you are getting your collection late. So we started tracking the lead time and then tried to reduce that. Then you have a customer database, so you can have a CRM system in place where you can tell your client all your customers data you can configure under CRM. Then there are few policy intervention where you have master agreements, you have standardized discount policies in place. That is for one process. Now coming to second process, procure to pay. So the entire PO system was implemented where our client has central kitchen in Mira Road, Bhinder. So all the procurement used to happen from there. So we started a PO system where whatever order you are giving, it has to be through PO. The material, whatever you are receiving, you maintain a proper good receipt register. And then whenever account person is processing bill, he has to tally with PO and the good receipt note and then only process the invoice. So these are the basic improvements which are missing at our MSME and startup clients, which can be easily implemented and you can add value to your clients. Then we have weekly payment runs, for example. So the client was processing payments on a daily basis. Every Monday, every Tuesday, every week of the day, उनके accounting team was busy. आज मुझे इसका payment करना है, उसका payment करना है. The time was wasted. What we started is weekly payment run. So now you make payments only on one day, which is Monday, for example. So client की जो team है, they also became free. ठीक है, अभी से I just have to focus on Monday. So even the internal vendors became clear that I will get payment only on Monday. So they used to follow up only on Monday. Otherwise daily follow up आते थे vendors के. अभी follow ups आ रहे हैं खाली Monday को. Then you enter into vendor agreements. Then treasury management. ठीक है. So treasury management, जैसे भी you have multiple employees. So client was processing payments for each employee manually. हर एक 50 employees हैं, हर एक employee का payment manually net banking से करते थे. So what we started is bulk payments. सारे employees का list बना दो, amount कितना pay करना बना दो, एक साथ में banker को दे दो, upload कर दो. Payment will be made in one go. You don't need to make payments for each employee manually one करके. Okay. So these all small improvements, but client doesn't have much idea because for them they are relying upon the accountant. So they don't have anyone at this virtual CFO level who is adding the value to them. Then you have reimbursement software. So Now they are doing multiple events. So हर एक event में their field team goes, they have to make some expenses, and those all expenses was happening through cash. And then the field team used to take reimbursement from the accounts team, submit all the documents, and then claim reimbursement. Again, very, very manual process involving a lot of cash. So what we started is a UPI-based payment system, जहाँ पे you have UPI app given to all the field team officers linked to client bank account. But then the policy said कि एक जन 10,000 के ऊपर payment नहीं कर सकता in a month. That policy you can set for each employee. So what happens is now even employee जो इनके field officer है, they don't have to pay cash from their own pocket. They don't have to claim reimbursement. All that process gone. The simple UPI, and UPI is very prevalent in India, in Mumbai. जहाँ पे भी expense करना है UPI से scanner से pay कर दो. In the app you upload the documents. Accounts team send client के जो bank account है वहाँ से link होके payment चला गया. The entire reimbursement process eliminated. Lot of time saved, documentation maintained properly, and you have a proper audit trail as well. Then under treasury management, you have park access funds and liquid. So since they recently did funding round, so we advise them कि whatever free money you have, you put in it liquid fund. No? The client was maintaining it in their current account. Client was not deploying it. अगर आप 1 crore भी आपके पास access है, you can easily earn around 70,000-80,000 a month. हमारी फीस free हो गई आपके लिए. That is what we did. We told our client, and they actually parked their funds in the liquid funds and they earned interest, which was equivalent to our fees. So हमारी fees तो पूरी free हो गई. Then since they have gone for funding, now they have to maintain a robust governance. So what we told our client is, now don't have any cash payments. जो भी आप cash, because they had also outlets, food outlets, whatever cash, they used to do cash dhanda. So whatever cash they collect, we told them deposit in your bank account on the same day. Very, very good governance. Investors will value this type of practice. You have complete traceability of the money, and whenever you want to go for IPO, you will have a good valuation if you are eliminating cash altogether. Then you have payroll. So you have multiple payroll softwares. The one that we use are Zoho and Keka. So we ensure that all the clients, wherever we have worked, we implement this payroll software. It becomes very, very easy for the clients to manage payroll. You just have to create a one-time employee master in the payroll software, update the attendance at the end of the month. System will do the calculation, and system से ही pay slip जाती है. System से ही employee can also browse the payroll portal, see what all pay slips are there. If they want to access data for the previous months, they can easily access. It becomes very, very easy. So payroll software is there, master data validation, and then you have third, like last, financial statement closure, where for most of our clients, we have adopted a cost center. Like अगर tally use कर रहे हो तो cost center कर सकते हो. Zoho है तो project based tagging होता है, that you can use. So they get the reports into nitty gritty. So they can easily understand from their accounting system, the branch level. So cost centers can be used for different purposes. Either you can have cost center maintain salesperson wise, branch wise, segment wise, product wise, whatever you want to have. However, management dashboard needs to be prepared. Basis that concept, you develop the cost centers so that system will generate the report how you want. And last is, you can also, so we also started attaching documents in Tally. So I think now in Tally, newer version, even that feature is free. It is there beforehand. So for all the journal entries that the client team were passing in Tally, we have enabled option to attach document in the same journal. So you don't need to maintain a separate documentation for that. Even for auditors it becomes very easy. You don't need to trace the vouchers. You can just enter the journal and see the voucher over there attached. So these are the policy level changes that as a virtual CFO you can bring with the clients. Next slide. So this is a framework that we follow for process improvement, where we strictly enter into timelines with the management. That these are the activities that we will do on a quarterly basis, and we pick up only one process per quarter. It becomes very easy, helps us to remain focused on one process. We also request client to identify one person from their team. It becomes very difficult for us to coordinate with the client different teams. So we always have one person from the client team, predominantly from accounts finance background, who assist us and be with us in these activities. And over here, one more thing that is important is status update. So on a weekly basis, we share status update with the client. In this week, these all activities are completed. These all activities are pending from your team. It is very, very clear, so that at the month end or at the quarter end, when we present our report, it should not happen that this is pending, that is pending, this is pending because of whom. At that time, the blame game should not start. So beforehand, we ensure that the status is updated, everything is aligned with the client management. So this is how you can kickstart the virtual CFO services in your firm, where you identify your top clients, your top 20% clients contributing 80% revenue. So those are the clients for whom you can actually add value. These are high paying clients. They will have a proper structure. They will have accountant at their office. You can leverage that resource. Then you always need to have a tech team, a very, very strong tech team, because whatever process improvements you do, management dashboard you are starting, you will always need a tech vendor, a Tally ERP vendor to prepare customized reports, to make changes in Tally software. So you should have tech team onboarded. You should also have other agencies onboarded, predominantly company secretary, labor compliance officer, FEMA consultant, valuer. So these are the agencies that you will require when you start these services. So you have a proper tie-ups with all these agencies, but then for the client, it is your firm representing all these agencies. Third is, you start the process where you start with, you prepare a 1-year plan broken into quarter-wise targets, and set the targets with the client and stick to the targets. Have monthly or quarterly meeting, give the status update to the client. But as I mentioned, don't try to optimize your time, otherwise you will not be able to scale. You will not be able to take more clients. Try to optimize your time at a personal level. So because of that, so to do that, you will need a strong team. Start investing in your team. Train your team so that they can take up the assignments, they can handle the assignments. And at your level, you should ensure that you don't spend more than 2-3 hours at each client in a month. And then last is prepare a 3-year projections. So this maybe not all clients would be ready, but then wherever you see the client geared up for IPO, for funding, you can start with the 3-year projections, and on a monthly basis, you compare the actual performance with the budgets that they have made. You participate in their cash flow decisions, and then prepare them for the IPO journey. So most of the clients would also be operating under partnership structure, proprietorship structure. So from day one, you will have to guide them to move to private limited structure or LLP structure, because the value unlocking will be done only in the corporate structure. If there's a investor coming or there's a funding requirement, that can be done only through a corporate structure. So from day one, you will have to consolidate the revenue into one entity, create the value, and also see how you can unlock the value for the clients. So with a 3-year roadmap, you can start planning from day one. All right, so I think the time is, yeah. Operational side will be very difficult for us to. So then, if that is the expectation, then they might as well hire full-time CFO if they want involvement in operational side as well. More of a compliance management dashboard, structuring, valuation. Yeah. Correct. So operational side, definitely you can touch upon the process, finance accounts process. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shreyans, for a wonderful presentation. Without wasting much time now, I request the Ashwin to propose the well-deserved vote of thanks. And there is one more. Tomorrow we are having session on ITR filing, morning 8 to 10.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Borivali Central CPE Study Circle, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speaker, CA Shreyans Dedhia, for delivering such an insightful and practical session on virtual CFO services. Your real-life experience and practical guidance on how you are giving a small improvements to your MSME clients, and that is giving the more value and recognition to the clients and scaling up those clients' business. We sincerely appreciate your time, effort, and expertise that you shared with us today. I would also like to thank all the members who have participated actively and made this session engaging. Thank you on behalf of BCSC once again to Shreyash Bhai. Thank you.